All right, we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our live stream today. We're going to talk about the Optimism Airdrop and how it's likely going to happen today and how you can claim free crypto and start trading it today, and how we got a lot of other crazy things have happened in the space since yesterday. A lot of cool updates coming on the pike for the Ethereum 2.0 merge, one of the most anticipated events in all of crypto history happening later this year. We're going to answer some of your questions, check on the crypto markets, look at some of the trends on chain, and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Automatic Beats. We got Above Realty, Lee, Robert, Martin, Dale. Let's see here. Another Robert, HM, Alan, Nick, Bitnick. We got lots of names, lots of common names today. Not as like common, but people who have the same name. So welcome everybody. Hope everybody, if it's in the United States, had a great Memorial Day long weekend. I know that lots of people were out yesterday when we were doing a live stream. We talked about the possibility of crypto, hitting a bottom, whether that's going to happen or not. Definitely go check out the live stream from yesterday, give my thoughts on that. But let's look at airdrop potential, okay? So one of the coolest things about crypto space is definitely the fact that you can just get deposited free cryptocurrency for being an early adopter of technology. It's one of the things I love about this space. And I think we're going to see a lot more of these in the coming months, which is really welcome because we're in this middle of this kind of wintry bear period for crypto. We don't exactly know how long it's going to last. I'm not saying it's going to be on par with 2018, 2019, but we're just calling it what it is. Crypto prices have been down for the past 6 months, and I don't think anybody who watched this video is going to complain about getting some free money. So we've been covering this for a while on this channel, our live streams, about the Optimism token. All right, so Optimism, what is it? It's a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. People talk about Ethereum being too slow, too expensive to use. That's what layer 2 scaling solutions are for. It's not necessarily what Ethereum 2.0 is for. And Optimism is launching a token associated with this layer 2 scaling solution for the Optimism Collective, okay? And so how are you eligible for this? Well, basically, the cool thing about the Optimism airdrop is it works a little bit differently from some of the past airdrops that we've talked about or seen that I've been a part of in the past, like the Uniswap airdrop, the 1inch airdrop, ENS, lots of others, where you basically had to go use the application for a certain date and took a snapshot and they retroactively airdropped tokens to everybody who had used it prior to a certain date. Okay. Now, Optimism is a little bit different in that it does work that way. They took a snapshot based on your activity, but if you had followed the instructions that I put on my YouTube channel when I released them and gone through those multiple times, then you would likely be eligible. So you can check your eligibility at app.optimism.io and then scroll down to the bottom, connect your wallet, and then, it'll tell you like whether you're able to collect those or not. Okay. So I've just got a random wallet connected here, so I'm not going to try to show mine on screen. But anyways, so now the cool thing about Optimism airdrop is it's going to be a rolling airdrop. So it's going to keep going beyond just this one. At least that's what they've stated. So if you didn't catch the first airdrop, you can continue using Optimism applications on top of the network to try to position yourself for a future airdrop, because they're not just going to be one and done like some of the past ones. Okay, that's the really cool thing about it. Now, we don't exactly know what the eligibility criteria is going to be for that going forward. But we put out a video about that a couple weeks ago. Definitely go check out that video if you haven't already. That's going to describe, how you could potentially get in on that in the future. So let's look at whether this is going to happen today and how you could take advantage of that. So we're seeing this hit major news outlets. The Optimism token is going to hit the market today. Now, we haven't seen an official announcement from Optimism on whether this is going to happen or not, but that is definitely the story that is circulating around online. You definitely want to check the Optimism Twitter account for the official news as sort of the source of truth, okay? And that's why I put in the title of the video that's likely to happen today. Not that it's necessarily going to happen today, but likely going to happen today as being reported by a lot of these news outlets. So basically, one thing about this is that this is the first time that I've seen an airdrop like this instantly supported on centralized exchanges. So one of the cool things about the decentralized finance space is that, cryptocurrencies can easily be bootstrapped can bootstrap markets with decentralized exchanges because anybody can go create a liquidity pool on something like Uniswap or other decentralized exchanges. You don't have to wait for a centralized exchange to list your coins. But still, that's gonna limit a certain set of users from trading in the way they want to. But it looks like we're gonna have support from centralized exchanges out the gate as soon as this one launches. So you can see examples of those here. So that's definitely a first that I've seen. That's the first I've seen from these airdrops. So according to its initial announcement, about 250,000 addresses were allotted, 214 million tokens, okay, with the eligible amount of this. All right, and they removed some addresses later who are trying to game the system. All right, so we got lots more tokens coming in the pipe with the Optimism Collective, and it's a really cool model. It's the first time we've seen something quite like this. And I think that they're sort of writing a playbook for future airdrops to come. We saw that with the Uniswap airdrop, how they said like, hey, we're doing this retroactive claiming thing. And then boom, a lot of people copied their homework. I think we'll see how the Optimism airdrop goes with the rolling airdrop and the incentives in the future. But unless it's just like a disaster, which I don't think it's going to be, then I would expect other people to at least take notes and incorporate those types of things in their future airdrops if they don't just copy the strategy entirely, which is good news for you because if there's a rolling airdrop in the future to incentivize future participation, not just early speculation and participation, then there's going to be lots more airdrop opportunities. So that's one of the great things about crypto space is you got opportunities to get this free money. I try to let you know about those on the channel ahead of time. Definitely subscribe. I'll be walking you through, these other applications that I expect to do airdrops in the future. Done videos about that. We got a lot more coming down the pike because, hey, who doesn't want to get to use the technology early and then also, be able to get some of these. A face for radio. I can't tell if that's an insult. Like, as in, like, you don't see who's on the radio, so hide your face. I don't know if that's what they're trying to say here. Especially beware of airdrop taxes in the U.S. Yeah, you definitely have to. I'm not a tax professional, but I don't think you're gonna be exempt from paying your taxes on your airdrops. So let's look at a lot of other exciting things that have happened in this space. The Ethereum 2.0 merge is still, in my book, going to happen this year, and unless we have some major setbacks. And we do see a lot of good developments moving towards the merge in 2020. Yesterday, we talked about on our live stream that some of the timelines may be looking more like September for the merge again. This is basically the Ethereum 2.0 moving to proof of stake. That's been one of the longest awaited things in all of blockchain history. Okay. It keeps getting delayed. But to me, the end is in sight. All right. And I'm going to stick by my prediction of it being inside of 2022. Okay, that I talked about earlier this year. I've been giving updated timelines on this channel. Lots of people were saying June early this year. I didn't think June was going to happen. And then, some of the more recent predictions have been pushed back to August and now most recently September. So let's look at some good progress, though, for the merge, all right, which is what's going on with the Ropsten test network. So again, we have to essentially practice the Ethereum 2.0 merge before we do it live on the main blockchain because there's billions and billions and billions of dollars secured on top of Ethereum. And the last thing you want to do is make a mistake when you're taking two blockchains and, merging them together because there's so much at risk. So, you have to practice it. You have to do animal trials before you do human trials, right? So it's a pretty crude analogy, but you get the picture. So basically, you do use test networks. So you have these blockchain networks that are the same code as the main chain, but they're run by usually a smaller set of validators or miners or whatever, and they don't have any real money on top of them. So you can basically take the same code and manipulate it with actual state and real applications on top of it, and see how it goes before you do that on the main chain. I know that sounds kind of loose, just see how it goes, but that's the idea, right? And you do this multiple times. So the Ropsten test network is going to be the first to undergo this process. We're going to do it on multiple test networks, and the Ropsten test network beacon chain has been launched. Okay, so this is gonna be one of the final tests this year before we go to the actual merge. We saw an issue with the Ropsten beacon chain, or sorry, the Ropsten chain before, because the merge is factored in total terminal difficulty. It's not based on block time, and it looks like they were, I'm trying to give a good analogy, kind of like overclocking the chain and ramping up the difficulty faster than expected. So they kind of had to fix that problem. But the Ropsten merge looks like it's going to take place early June, which is really soon. Okay. Total terminal difficulty for Ropsten on June 3rd. All right. So that's, let's see, what is today? Today's May 31st. So first, second, that's this week. So you can see the Ropsten merge announcement that was posted yesterday on the actual Ethereum website, so the ethereum.org website. You can read more about stuff like total terminal difficulty, what that means, all the technical specifications for the actual merge itself. So if it's got FAQs on there, like if I'm a staker, what do I need to do? If I'm a node operator, what do I need to do? If I'm a developer, okay, what do I need to do? All right, so there is a couple changes. Let's actually look at that for developers. That's probably the most pertinent question for most people watch this video. There will definitely be some node operators and some stakers watching this, but let's just assume developer is the biggest concern. So basically, to ensure that your product works as expected through the proof of stake transition in the post-merge context, it'll have minimal impact on subsets of contracts deployed on Ethereum, none of which should be breaking. All right, so basically, you're probably not going to have to do anything. Additionally, the lion's share of our API endpoints remains stable unless you use proof of work specific methods such as ETH get work, which I've never used this method in my own applications, so I highly doubt anybody, I'll put it this way, you'd know if you were doing this. And if you do, you'd have to change it, all right? So basically, they're saying, most applications on Ethereum use much more than on-chain contracts. You basically want to make sure that your front-end code, tooling, doesn't change. So if you have anything like point and short networks, you might have to update that. But I think for most people, you're not going to have any problems. That's one of the most common questions I get is like, hey, what am I have to do when Ethereum 2.0 gets here if I'm a developer? Most of the time, nothing. Most of the time, nothing. So I'll put a link to this in the live chat replay. So is it too late to get the airdrop? So it's too late to get the initial snapshot of the airdrop, but for future stuff, there's likely going to be eligibility because Optimism is doing a rolling airdrop. Now, we don't exactly know what the criteria for all that's going to be. We talked about that in a video. Definitely go check it out on my channel. We talked about the Optimism airdrop and how to use the chain and position yourself for future potential airdrops. So says ETH2 was supposed to be released in 2018. Trust me, I remember. So I don't think it's like a deal breaker that Ethereum 2.0 didn't come out when people initially thought it was going to. This software is incredibly hard to build. I mean, if you built any professional software before, or even just coded your own project outside of a professional setting, you know how insanely hard it is to estimate. Now, multiply that problem by 10,000 or more, maybe multiply it by 1 million. I'm just kind of throwing out some random multiple here because the magnitude of creating a public blockchain that's going to work the way Ethereum does is insanely hard to predict. Not only that, it's how they develop it. So don't forget, Ethereum is created as an open source project, with all these different people coordinating across the globe to do this. And you can't exactly just get developer Joe Blow down the street to just fill in when somebody else is sick. You know what I mean? It's like you have to really filter down hard to a very small talent pool and get them to coordinate in a decentralized way. It's pretty impressive that they're even able to pull off in the first place. Somebody says, well, the previous airdrops adopt the rolling airdrop model and do another. That's a good question. It depends on what their incentives are. I could see that. I'm not sure every project's going to do it. But we could see that some like older projects maybe get revived, start doing airdrops. All right, so yesterday we did do. I do want to call out some videos that I put out on my channel over the past week and kind of discuss some of those because I've had questions about them. And want to kind of revisit the idea of some of these topics on the stream and kind of dialogue with you all rather than just, talk about it in a video. But one of them for sure is what's going on with Soulbound tokens. Okay. So I definitely go check out my video that I put out this yesterday. I'm not gonna completely rehash the entire video because I definitely want you to watch that. Spend some time really presenting that topic in an in-depth way. But I did want to open up the floor for questions on that and kind of talk about the topic some because I do think it could be a big deal for blockchain moving forward. Because one of the biggest questions is basically what are the next catalysts for Web 3.0 adoption? We've seen all this stuff happened over the past couple of years. DeFi really exploded. NFTs really exploded. Gaming is getting a lot of attention. Metaverse has some attention as well. And, we saw what happened. We saw a big boom in crypto whenever those use cases really started to bubble up and capture people's attention. So that begs the question, what's next? So Soulbound tokens are definitely one of those potential catalysts. So if you watch that video, or if you have questions about it, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll answer some questions about Soulbound tokens, but I'll reiterate the idea for anybody who's just brand new. So the idea is basically it's a non-fungible token or NFT that's not transferable by the owner. Okay. And this was actually proposed in a paper by Vitalik Buterin, the mastermind behind Ethereum, and a few others, I believe, that was talking about this idea and how it could be, a game changer for crypto down the road. So, basically, what could you do with an NFT that's not transferable? Well, you could do things like, issue university credentials. You could do things like, issue your job history. It completely automates the process of having to trust, whether you are reporting, things that you did in the past, and you can keep track of your reputation on chain in a decentralized way where you can't just take your university credentials and go sell them to somebody else like on OpenSea or some other NFT marketplace. You've got them for good. Now, that's a really simple example of how you can do this, but you could also take that to the next level and do things like, model lending history, right? You could get a non-fungible token that's not transferable that represents a debt, all right? And then you could get a different non-fungible token when you pay that debt off. And over time, you could potentially actually model something closer to a credit score or a debt status where you could pave the way for under-collateralized loans, which would be a huge game changer for blockchain. We have over-collateralized loans right now for people who want to do advanced trading techniques like shorting or advanced DeFi techniques, okay, where they want to, maybe trade on leverage, right? They want to, borrow stable coins against their, crypto assets if they think the value is going to go up and then, buy some more leverage coins. Well, those are the current use cases, and more for DeFi lending. But now, we can pave the way for the types of lending that most consumers are used to, which is, like credit cards, basically consumer lending, even much more sophisticated things like mortgage payments, any kind of business debt financing, lots of things that, we can't really do now. And so that's one of the reasons that I think it could be a big game changer. Somebody says Soulbound, what happens when I sell my soul to the devil with a token? Yeah, I don't think it's the best name. I think it's kind of a weird name, to tell you the truth. But it's caught people's attention. Especially reminds me of the Ghostbusters caption device. And I think there's a lot of bad naming conventions in the Ethereum ecosystem. I think ultrasound money is not very good. I think it makes me think of ultrasounds like a OBGYN. Have I thought of any use cases trying to brainstorm? Yeah, definitely. Like the ones I was talking about, like finance and, like lending, and then any type of credentials that you'd have to model on chain. What about refi finance? You mean like just refinancing a loan? I mean, you could theoretically automate all that. This definitely needs a better name. Yeah, totally. There's a lot of stuff that needs a better name. But how could you monetize it? Well, right now, I mean, one of the best business models you can possibly get into is credentialing, right? Because if you can essentially be a person who issues credentials that other people trust, that's incredibly lucrative. It takes a long time to build up that network effect of reputation. But once you've got it, the cost of replication is basically zero. All you have to do is just like click a button and issue somebody else a credential, and then they trust you as an authority, all right, that you have verified that this person has what they say they're going to have. So, yeah, there could be a way where, a lot of people are saying, hey, there's no way that like Harvard University is going to start issuing diplomas with NFTs anytime soon. But Harvard doesn't have to do it, right? You could become a third-party issuer where people start to trust you before the universities do it. So you could have like some sort of trust badge on your website that's like, verified by, whatever your, Trust Pilot, whatever your company is called, right? And that company earns a reputation maybe for going in and like checking your ID and like saying, yes, like we looked at your Harvard certificate, we did the due diligence, we called the admissions office or whoever, right, to say that you actually went there. We verified this, and this, and then we give you a badge and you pay us to do it, right? Think about like a Twitter verification badge, and that's it's got like that's got demand for social media. People talk about all the time like, yeah, I can't get verified on Twitter. Well, if you could use a third-party verification service for social media, and then people started to trust that as reputation for digital identity. And that reputation should not be transferable. So that would work with Soulbound token. So where's the Optimism website? I'll post a link to it in the live chat replay here. So like an audit, but much more in depth. Yeah, totally. So I think definitely to check out is I put out a tutorial last week about smart contract hacking. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. This was a highly requested topic about how to hack smart contracts with reentrancy. Okay, this is one of the big ways that smart contracts get hacked. So definitely go check out that video. At the end of the day, the information is not so that you can go steal money from other people, but so that you can, if you ever find this in a public contract, you can disclose it. In many cases, you can, earn money as a developer for being a white hat hacker in this case. And so that you don't take the money yourself. And then also so you can protect your own applications because, you need to understand what security vulnerabilities are in order to develop blockchain applications that are secure. So at the end of the day, you always want to have a security auditor, a third-party security auditor, audit your contracts before they go live on chain and start getting lots of real money. All right, but the more you understand about this as a developer, the more valuable you're going to be because the last thing you want to do is just hand your project over to a security auditor that's full of vulnerabilities, right? If you can catch them before they get to the auditor, that makes you more valuable as a developer to your employer. If you're a freelancer or whatever it is, or if you're creating your own project, it saves you money because if you have to front the auditing bill, that's less work for them. The more you understand about this stuff, the more, the more valuable you're going to be as developers. Definitely go check that out because reentrancy is one of the most common vulnerabilities for smart contracts. Somebody says the audits are perfect because of me. Awesome. Great. Okay, so let's definitely go take a quick peek. What's going on with crypto? All right, let's see here. So we did see quite a bit of green yesterday across the charts. The crypto market. Seeing major news outlets talk about the bottom potentially being in for crypto. Go check out the video I did yesterday. My thoughts on that. Is it possible that crypto has formed a bottom? It is possible. I don't want to get too excited yet because we've had such a massive correction this year so far. And it's not just crypto specific, right? It's been in the equities markets. We're seeing rates go up. That's causing some panic even in the real estate markets. Inflation's still not great. And so, we don't have the confidence to just say like, yeah, that's the bottom, party's back in. And even if it is the bottom, like, I don't think the party's like just going to continue ripping back up to all-time highs with a melt up, anytime soon because of the uncertainty of the economy. Now, if any of that changes significantly, then of course we could definitely go significantly risk on. But, we did see a nice pump yesterday. Okay. Which, is at least encouraging that crypto doesn't look like it's going to just completely dump straight through the floor, like it might have appeared last week, right? Like if you were watching this, like, that was looking pretty thin, pretty weak, right? But now that we've seen a little bit of support here, that's at least encouraging in the short term. So, the real question is, what's going to happen with the stock market? I don't think we're going to see crypto rip back to all-time highs if we're still kind of bearish in stocks. I think a lot of people don't trust the pump that we saw last week in stocks. Okay, we saw this nice kind of recovery, a green week, and unless we can start pushing past some of these previous trend lines right here, it's still anybody's game. And really, at the end of the day, it's ultimately what's going on with the Federal Reserve, what they decide to do. Do they see inflation numbers come down? What's happened with GDP? What's happened with jobs? We just don't have clarity on any of that stuff yet. So it's too hard to say with confidence what's going to happen next. It always is, right? But even particularly now. Any idea of the Optimism token price? I've seen some speculations about it, but I do not know what the price is going to be. Somebody says that education can be a complex topic when it comes to governance policies. I don't see Harvard giving any third party to demonetize their programs on the basis of decentralization. Yeah, totally. I'm not saying that's necessarily what's going to happen, and it might not be Harvard, right? The incentive might not be there for Harvard to do that. Just using it as a simple example. There could be other institutions that would benefit from something like that, though. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you're as fast at this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You definitely go to my YouTube homepage, find those free courses like I was just talking about. We just put out that new one on reentrancy. All right, if you like those videos and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time.